If you want to know the biggest insight I've learned in product management, it's not about frameworks or certifications. The most effective product leaders approach their role like professional athletes, constantly practicing, improving, and developing their core competencies. I'm Ross Webb, and after being in product leadership roles at places like Amazon, Just Eat, and many more, I've discovered that just like athletes never stop working on their fundamentals, product managers need to continuously develop 4 essential competencies. And today, I'm bringing you 4 experienced product leaders from across the globe who are going to be sharing their approaches to developing these competencies and building stronger product teams. Now, think about it. Athletes don't just show up on game day and perform. No, they're constantly working on their fundamentals. And in product management, we have 4 core competencies that need the same kind of ongoing development. Firstly, data analytics, making informed decisions. 2, prioritization, focusing on what matters most. Number 3, stakeholder management, building and communicating effective partnerships. And number 4, voice of the customer, understanding and serving your market. And just like athletes track their progress, we need to keep score of how we're developing in each of these areas. And with that in mind, I'm excited to introduce today's guests. And first up is Adrian Postelnicu, who's a CPO at Metro. He's developed strong approaches to data analytics, amongst other things, and turning complex data into actionable product decisions. I'm really excited to share what he has. And then Arttu, Huhtiniemi, CPO at Miradore, and he brings invaluable insights on prioritization, especially in fast-growing enterprise environments. Then Bradley King, a fellow South African and a great guy. He's developed effective strategies for stakeholder management, particularly in building strong product engineering partnerships. Bradley understands that healthy tension and shared goals are key to high-performing teams. I think you're going to love what he says. And then Ayla Erimer, Senior Director of Product at Mews, and she's going to be bringing deep experience in developing voice of the customer practices that drive real value. So Adrian, in sports, athletes use performance metrics to continuously improve. How do you approach data analytics and data to drive better product decisions, especially in the context of culture? Walk us through your process for turning data and culture into action.
Yeah, that's the best question because actually culture will determine your success. If the right levers are used in terms of changing or improving the culture, you will have success. In the end, we are all looking for success. We are all looking for results. I define culture by the sum of the habits, of the behaviors of the people. Having a nice vending machine or, I don't know, offering free coffee. These are for me actually not culture. This is climate. Yeah. And climate is driven by budget. If you have the money to offer to the people, like we have here, I don't know, some gaming rooms, some relaxation space, you offer them some perks, that's actually climate. And for me, that doesn't necessarily determine the different behavior in the people, which you are actually trying to unleash, let's say, in order to get to better results. When we talk about culture, or when I look at culture, it's about, I would say, 3 main components. First one is ownership, because we are talking a lot about a team that wins together and loses together. They are all in the same game, and they are part of that. Like you can make the comparison to any sports team, if you will. But this is not simply appearing, especially you need to look where you are coming from. Yeah. So if you are coming from a culture, an organizational culture where you have been told a lot what to do, and then when you are told what to do and you do that, despite it producing results or not, concrete results for the business, yeah, and that was fine. Suddenly coming with the ask, hey, you own the result and you own what the outcome is, it's a major change. So you need to actually teach and demonstrate, role model that kind of behavior in front of your people. And you need to make sure that people understand what is the acceptable new behavior, what is something that we have to unlearn. Yeah, so we need to learn to unlearn and actually demonstrate concretely via our actions. So it's not so much about talking, it's about showing what ownership means. Yeah, so this is something that I see working. And as it starts to grow, more and more people will demonstrate that type of behavior, and it will spread in the entire organization. Of course, it takes time, but we need to start as leaders and we need to show it to our people. Empowerment is the second one. I heard so much talking about empowerment when we did our agile transformation many years ago, when we moved from waterfall to agile. The misconception into empowerment was that people can do whatever they want. And actually you had teams all around the company doing and choosing whatever technologies they wanted, whatever processes they wanted, whatever metrics they wanted, even if they were using any metrics. So it was like, okay, but we are empowered, we can do whatever we want. No, empowerment is something different, and you need to again teach people what empowerment means. And from my point of view, empowerment is a lot with the leaders, because you are actually empowering your teams to produce the results that you're expecting from them. So first element, you need to provide them with business context. If they don't understand why their product is there, how does it help the customer? How does it improve the business? What kind of impact it creates on the P&L, on the top line or on the bottom line? They will have a hard time solving the problems they are confronted with. They will not understand the problem. So you need to explain it to them as a leader. Yeah? As an individual contributor, you need to take that empowerment. You need to take that information and not just ignore it and just go about your own thing like you're doing it before. Okay, just give me the piece of code I need to write and I will write it. You need to take that and use it in finding the best solution to the business problem that you have just been empowered with. Of course, this is not enough. What you need to also create is access. Yeah, in our context, so if I again refer to a large organization, as a leader, you also need to empower your people to access the customers and to access the users. Sometimes it can be easier in such a context because many of our products are actually used by our own colleagues in the bigger population, let's say, in the larger organization. So that can be achieved. But then again, with an individual contributor, the task to take that access, to actually go out from the office or from their home office with their team. Yeah. So I don't know, the tech lead together with the UX designer and the product manager actually go location and they actually observe the people working there and understand how to solve their problem. And last but not least, what we are continuously preaching is look for the results. Yeah. So we need to have a behavior that helps us identify if we actually deliver something, if we actually move the needle or not, and be able to give up the things that maybe we have worked for some time, but do not deliver results. We must continuously reassess and be critical, I would say, about our own work in order to validate if we are delivering results or not. I have seen it numerous times in our organization. People usually get in love or fall in love with the fact that they are working on something, and sometimes have a hard time giving it up just because they worked for, I don't know, maybe 6 months on it. However, it proves that it's not delivering any results. So that's yet another type of behavior that we need to learn. Yeah, culture from that perspective is about having this kind of ownership, empowerment, and delivering results at all levels. From the top down, you need to ensure and make it safe that people take that, yeah, and provide them with the means to do that. And from the bottom up, of course, you need to actually do it on a day-to-day basis and understand that this is the next level actually in your career. Yeah, if you want to develop, if you want to grow, you need to take that type of empowerment and you need to take that type of ownership and actually make sure that you are delivering results, and that will be visible to the management and to the entire organization.
That's great. Now, Arttu, just like athletes have to make split-second decisions during a game, product teams face tough prioritization calls. What's your approach to making these crucial decisions under pressure?
The owners of the company have a different vision, likely that they want to grab some other parts, and marketing will have their own. So I think that's maybe the biggest challenge, is to figure out where is the common space that everyone is happy with and believes that we can be successful in that area. It's super important, because otherwise these different units will just go in different directions and you don't have a coherent strategy. Yeah, the last time when I did that a couple of years ago, I started from topics or a content that included the external factors first of all. And there I looked at, or I used the PESTLE framework, if you're familiar with that. Includes the political, economical, social, tech, legal, and environmental factors that have some effect on what we are building and how our market is moving and how our customers are looking at. The second thing I look at the market needs and trends. So what's happening in our product target markets and where will they be heading in the future? That's actually a large part of any product strategy because it's a huge topic and probably you cannot do it on your own. We actually had a company helping us doing that. Then we did competitive analysis, look at how we compare with other companies in the space, positioned us into the competition landscape. Finally, there was the product vision part. Where should we be in a couple of years? And then an implementation plan, which is high-level roadmap explaining that in what order we are doing things and roughly how quickly we are going to implement those.
Wow, that's great feedback. Now, Brad, championship teams thrive on productive challenges and shared goals. You've seen this in action between product and engineering teams. So tell us about creating what you call, let's say, healthy tension. And how do you build those strong partnerships that drive better outcomes?
Yeah, it's a common topic in product and engineering. So it's really a good one. I tend to fully agree. For me, a high-performing product and engineering combination is one where they are challenging each other, right? So tension in the form of challenging, in the form of, are we pushing hard enough? Are you understanding our constraints? Have we scoped out the right MVP? Can we do it faster? Can we do it better? What are the business goals? So it goes both ways, both from product as well as from engineering. What I found is crucial in making that at least a success. One, and it's again the obvious, is having clarity on the roles and responsibilities. So the difference between the two, but also the overlap and where they actually have common ground. And again, often sounds obvious, but people forget this, is both are there to deliver to the customer and to move the business in the right direction. So one of the big things I found in creating a healthy, let's say, challenge and tension between the two to get the best out of both is definitely joint goals. Not often you go in some environments where engineering has complete different goals to product. Product are usually associated more towards the business teams. Engineering can be more towards deliverables or the actual technical tech stack. I think bringing them under one umbrella has been a game changer, even in my environment and in my experience. At the end of the day, they're both working together for the outcome. How they get to it, both have clear separation in roles and responsibilities. And that definitely can create, I think, and help to create a more healthy, let's say, tension or challenge between the two. But without a doubt, is both of them challenging each other, I think is crucial to have a high-performing product, a high-performing team, and to give the product the best chance of moving the right needles for the business. I think if there's not, I tend to agree that then either or being too complacent or something's not being said that should, right? It's almost always say the quiet part out loud. And I think if that's not happening, then definitely, and I always take it back to myself as a leader, that's where it starts. We know we're not challenging each other enough and we're not setting maybe the right forum for us to collaborate on those grounds.
Thanks, Brad. That was great. Now, Ayla, athletes spend countless hours studying the competition and understanding their game. How do you apply this level of dedication to understanding customer needs? And what's your process for staying deeply connected to users?
So I mentioned that when I'm hiring, I want to look for this skill of trying to make these connections and to try and layer the value that you're giving the user. So I think this is at a surface level is quite obvious. And actually in hindsight, it's very obvious. When a business does it successfully, everyone looks and said, of course they did that. But actually to do it is difficult. Let's say you have a product problem and the data suggests that it's the main thing constraining the growth of your business, right? You do some user research, backs that up. This is an important problem. And what can happen is that people sometimes they hope that they can just think about the problem carefully, follow a well-established, well-respected framework, and they land on a feature to build, maybe two features, and then you fix this problem. And now your business should flourish. And according to the data and the results of your A/B tests, everything should be great. More often than not, what happens is that doesn't happen. And there's now a new problem. And now it's the one that matters the most. And your competitor is still ahead. And you have too few engineers and not enough time, and you need things to look good for your next board meeting, etc. So you abandon that old problem and you start this process again without fully exploring the opportunity there. And of course, this is how feature factories operate, but this can happen in any business. It could be a business that religiously follows a kind of a product operating model or linear. It can still happen because you're treating problems as separate and discrete. So in my experience, really successful and enduring, kind of sustainably successful businesses are those that do recognize that a product is not just a set of features and some attached data and metrics. They have product teams and wider teams. It's not just about product. It's a very holistic thing, but especially for product, they think about layers of value and how to build those that really succeed and innovate. So when they do decide to build that feature, they go through that same process. Maybe they use the same framework or whatever. Allow them to maybe iterate a bit and then shift the revenue profile of their product by introducing maybe a new revenue stream. Maybe it lets them change their business model altogether or introduce a new variation. Maybe that then unlocks new types of clients if it's B2B, or new types of users if it's B2C. Maybe they can create a whole new service. Maybe lets them add a new type of kind of differentiator to their kind of competitive stack and rounds out their value proposition, makes their product harder to copy. Maybe it enables a new partnership. So in the ideal scenario, you have product teams that connect these dots and they can stack these kind of like value upon value, and each thing that they build unlocks something else. So instead of solving problems in this very disconnected way, I do think this is hard for businesses because it requires a lot of trust in product teams. And also you need to hire the right kind of person, people who can think in this way, but also you need to structure your business in a way that enables this kind of thinking to happen.
Wow, that was great. So remember, product leaders, like athletes, we're never done improving these competencies. It's about constant practice and development, and of course, the scoring of them when you get to that point. So here are your next steps. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're sharing new insights on product leadership regularly. And connect with our guests on LinkedIn. They're really, really awesome people. And if you're looking to accelerate your product leadership development, consider joining us in the Top Prods community. We provide the structure, accountability, and peer support to help you continuously improve these core competencies. Thanks so much. And if you're ready to unlock your product management career, then watch this episode I did with another 4 industry leaders sharing insights and strategies to move their career forward. You can't afford to miss it. And until next time, from me, Ross Webb, bye for now.